All right, so the first step you want to take when optimizing your Webflow site for SEO is you want to add SEO-friendly titles and meta tag descriptions to all of your pages. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So inside of Webflow, I'm going to come to my pages. I'm going to hit this little gear icon right here, and that'll pop up this settings page, all right? And I'm going to scroll down to SEO settings, where I have a title tag and a meta description field that I can populate. Now, this title tag is essentially what's going to show up inside of Google right there in that big header font, and the description is going to be what's populated underneath. So you want to make these very applicable to the content on your page and kind of headline grabbing so that when people are perusing through Google, they know exactly what they're going to get if they click on your link. So in Webflow, I can either type in manually my title, or if I'm using a CMS collection page, I can actually add a dynamic field here and pull in the name of whatever post it is that is dynamically being pulled from my CMS. So in this case, Firestick 4K. And I can do the same thing for my description. I can either type in, a manual thing, or I can pull it in dynamically the same way with a summary field or something like that. All right, step number 2 is we want to optimize the URLs of our pages to be clean and concise and easily digestible for Google. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So on this page, I have a bunch of books, okay? It's kind of like a directory of books, all right? Now, if I come to pages and settings, you can see that my URL slug right now is bookshelf. That makes sense, okay? Google is going to know that this page has something to do with a bookshelf or books. If this was a bunch of random numbers like this, Google now has no idea what this page is for, and my human visitors also are going to be confused at what page they're actually on. So we want to optimize all the pages on our site to make sense for the content that is on that page. So for example, this one will be bookshelf. If I have a home page, it'll be home. If I have an About Us page, it should be About Us or Info, something like that. You want to make these clear and concise and easily digestible for Google. Now, a third thing that can really help us rank up on Google that is super easy is to add alt text to all the images on our web pages. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So you can see on this page, I have 3 images of 3 books. Now, in order for us to rank up more efficiently on Google, I can add something called alt text to each of these images, okay? Now, alt text is essentially just going to be like kind of describing what the image is for so that Google can more easily understand what the picture is. So in this example, I can type in like Yertle the Turtle, Dr. Seuss or something. Okay, and it can be just as simple as that. If I'm using a CMS collection and I have an alt text field inside my CMS collection, I can pull that in automatically or dynamically here, just like that. Okay, but you want to add that alt text to all the images across your website. All right, the next thing we can do to better optimize our Webflow sites for SEO is to just make sure that we are structuring our header tags correctly on our pages. So inside of Webflow, when you drop in a header, you have an option to go with H1, H2, H3, all the way down to H6. The general rule of thumb is for your page title, you want to be with a higher H tag. So in this case, I have tagged the product title of this page, the main title of this page, with an H1 tag, all right? And then for my subcategories or my subheadings, I want to just drop down in that heading ranking. So for example, this is not the title of my page, but it is a title of one of my subsections. So I'm going to give it an H2 tag, all right? And so on and so forth. We do this because it helps Google understand how the information on our site kind of connects to each other, kind of what's the most important information and what's a little less important on our page. That way it knows which visitors to send to our content. All right, the next tip is a super obvious one, but it's very important. We need to make sure that our visitors can easily get around our websites. All right, so we can obviously achieve this in a bunch of different ways, but the 3 I always like to do is firstly, create a nav bar with a bunch of links to other pages on our website. This way you can just click through and easily bounce around the web pages and not get lost. The second thing I like to do is to make sure I have a mobile nav bar view. I like to use this hamburger menu one right here that just kind of opens and closes on all the pages of my website. Makes it very easy for mobile users to get around my site. And then thirdly, I also like to always have a footer with a link back to the home page and the other pages of my website. That way, if someone's at the bottom of one of the web pages of my site, they can easily still navigate to the pages they need to be on. By making things intuitive for your users and helping them get around your site super easily, you're gonna reduce your bounce rate from those visitors, and then you're going to be rewarded in the Google algorithm. Now, the next thing you're gonna wanna do is to register your website with the Google Search Console. This is basically going to allow Google to index your site, understand and read what is going on the pages of your website, and then use that information to send visitors to the content on your pages. I will have a bunch of articles linked down below walking through exactly how to do this, so don't worry, it's not hard at all. But this is definitely one of the most important steps that you're going to have to take when optimizing for SEO in Webflow. All right, another super easy thing that we can do in Webflow to boost our SEO performance is to come to project settings, come to this publishing tab and scroll down to advanced publishing options. Okay, so essentially what this is there's a lot of hidden things that can block Google from being able to index our sites effectively. So Webflow is awesome for this because they have all these little toggle options where we can just turn these things on, hit save, and we don't have to worry about anything kind of getting in the way of Google crawling our sites. So I recommend turning most of these on. Every situation is going to be a little different, but for me and my sites, I turn them on, I hit save, and I forget about it. So I would recommend that. Okay, and then lastly, and probably most importantly, you have to write good quality content that your visitors enjoy and gain valuable insights from in order for Google to continue to send people to your websites. Any good SEO strategy has good, valuable content as the foundation of its strategy. The rest of the tips I've given you can help you, yes, but they are nothing if you don't have good content for your visitors. So those are the 8 basic steps I would take when I'm building out any new SEO strategy inside of Webflow. I'll see you all on next week's video. Peace.